Welcome, Speed Gaming fans, to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Speed Gaming Live 2024 lower bracket finals match between Ale and Phoenix. My name is Davey Knock. With me today is Softnum with our tracker Wildham. Softnum, what are we looking at with these parties and blursings?
So the party today, we have a knight. The knight starts with a chime and has improved cat claw, which is fine. Black belt has a rod and 800 gold, which is okay. Black wizard comes with a cube and can use thief swords, which is also okay. And the red mage comes with the ruby and has the wood armor evade set, which is kind of cool if you can get it.
Yeah,
it's worth noting that our... Oh, go ahead.
As soon as that wood armor made can be handy, but as you were about to say...
Yeah, so our runners have agreed today to a bunch of things, and one of those is that they cannot recruit. So they are going to completely miss out on a white mage, which comes with the TNT and has heal plus magic, which is good. And then the thief, who comes with the key and has 15 agility, which is great. Key opens up a bunch of stuff. You'd love to have it early and out of sequence. Plus 15 agility is great on a thief, but can't have it.
It's already dodgy, especially with the FFR randomizer fix that adds more agility.
Yep. Yeah, I mean he's already fine. So, but it's nice to have. The key though is really great to sequence break a bunch of stuff in the game.
Indeedly do. I gotta love the fact that we've got starting rod, chime, and cube. We are one incentive or access item away from all dungeon access.
That's so crazy.
But they still need the ship, canal, and/or floater to get to all those dungeons.
Yep, some combination of ship, canal, canoe, floater, kind of gets you everywhere.
Indeed, we do. We've got a lot of modifications to the map. Anyone who hasn't seen the randomizer thus far this tournament, we have docks that are added on several locations, including the Luffy dock, as it's known, a dock so you can park your ship right where you normally pick up the airship with the floater, as well as one for the desert where Mirage Tower is, Bahamut's Island to promote, and the Onrak continent to get access to Onrak, and if you have the canoe, the waterfall, and the caravan. This is possible a floaterless seed, where the items that are gated by the floater in Gaia and Lefane, the slap and the bottle turn-in, are not necessary, so we could see runners stay on the ground and on the sea the entire time.
Yeah, we'll have to see what our runners end up doing. It should be an exciting race. Our runners should get started here momentarily.
You will most definitely be seeing our runners make some quick plays. You see the shuffle of the black belt up to second slot. Here we go with the first look at our magic. Ruse, Life 2, ooh, fun. Life 2 is not red learnable or night learnable, so they do not get early access to that, but they do get Ruse, they do get Warp, but there's a substantial lack of Sweeper spell, which could be a problem, because, oh, that was a hint about a floater just now. Level 7 of, was that Volcano? Oh, Ice Cave, it looks like.
Cave.
Thank you to our tracker Wildham. Phoenix not going to the Northwest or Temple of Fiends, going straight to Provoca, wants to find Sweeper magic. And we have game audio. Looks like we have a desync with Ale's stream. We're going to see if we can get that fixed up. And until then, Phoenix finds Fast Nuke, Zap, and Quake at level 2 Black Magic and stocks up on all the damage. Good, well noted in chat. We do have Vanilla Floater. And there's that thief they won't get with the key they don't need or will have to get elsewhere. Nuke doing nuke things, unloading all the damage onto the pirate band to get the TNT. There's one less item that they would otherwise have to recruit for. Phoenix goes and checks, finds Life and Cure 4 at level 2. Those are both Knight and Red Mage learnable, so they do have a life spell, and they have a full heal spell, although they're both on the same magic level.
Yep, which is unfortunate, but I mean, what are you going to do? You have that life now. If I remember correctly... Oh no. We haven't seen any of the other cure spells yet, so... we'll kind of have to see what ends up happening there.
There's the loot from the king and the rod from the princess. The rod is a womp, but the loot is mandatory.
Yeah, it's a nice find, and also, we're lucky that wasn't Astos.
Indeed, that's a good mention. We have a few flag changes. They agreed to a unsafe or randomized Astos. So one of these turn-in NPCs might just be the evil Dark Elf King in disguise, with a lot of buffed strength, basically matching a fiend rather than the instant quad-exable man that he is. Aegis +1, that is fully equipable by that knight. We also have Procgen Waterfall, as well as a mandatory Warmech fight at the Bridge of Destiny in Sky.
Ooh, and the TNT turns into the canal. That's really nice.
That is access to the Outer Sea once we get the ship. If we get the ship, we could actually not get the ship in the Inner Sea and get the canoe and the floater instead. It's quite fun. In fact, I've seen it once in this tournament where the canoe was not gotten until after both the ship and the airship were gotten, which caused some hilarious bonks where normally would not be bonked. Phoenix is diving March. It makes sense, you don't have the herb, you're not really looking for a shop item just yet.
Yeah, you don't have any way to kind of do anything else, so this makes sense. There's a key item down here.
It looks like we've got Ale's stream coming back up. Thank you very much, Speed Gaming's volunteer crew, to help get that set up for our restream. Looks like Ale has finished up the fight with the pirates and must have already taken care of Garland, having not gone to Toph like Phoenix did, or having gone to Toph unlike Phoenix.
So just now, going to pick up their canal here.
Just getting a synchronization again. Thank you very much to Speed Gaming for your volunteer crew handling the restreaming structure. There's that canal, and here we are synchronized up. Ale using warp to get out of there without having to run back. And that is the water tile on the vanilla mage tile. I don't like water. I mean, I love to drink it. I hate to be hit by it at high volumes and velocities.
Yeah, it's the vanilla wizards.
Yeah. Did I say mage? Yeah.
Idiot.
Mistake?
No worries.
They are completely different things.
In this game they are. Not always, but in this game they really kind of are. But Phoenix grabs the crystal, warps out of Marsh, heading up to turn in our crystal. Maybe it turns into something nice, and Ale being funneled down here as well.
Yeah, hoping it's probably the boat or the canoe, that way he can go somewhere faster rather than having to walk all the way back around the left side to Elfland. Who knows, it could be the crown, and the crown just turns into something else.
A ribbon.
Could be the key, which then has to take them back into Canaria Castle.
Yep. So we've gone over how this is the lower bracket finals yet. This is pretty exciting. We're getting to the end of the speed gaming tournament here.
This is very true. Mentioned at the start, but this is a fight for survival. The winner goes on to face the winner of the upper bracket. There is the ship from the Crystal Tournament.
Who we know who it is. It's Fry Teeth, so is waiting there at the winners finals for either Ale or Phoenix to pass here and head up and have our finals.
And here's hoping for a bracket reset. Because more at the bar is more at better.
Yep. And there's Lit 3, which is nice to find.
It's an extra sweeper, saves you the charges of that nuke and fast, as Ale gets the ship, Phoenix pulling in, finding Fade, and Cure 3. Ale also, as spotted by chat, getting that ribbon out of Matoya's. Huge find. Heal 3, Invis 2, this white level 4 magic, pretty solid, and Adamant on the 3rd floor of Earth Cave. So that is an interesting find, but Temper and Fire 3 and Quad X, that is a much more interesting find. Quad X is vanilla, it's only effective against enemies with 300 hit points or less, but it can be an incredible utility. We've seen multiple races where the last surviving member of a party gets the Quad X kill. Shop item check, it is a Womp. It is the cube for 19,000. Doesn't nearly have enough money to buy it, but got it for free, and that is not a Womp, although extremely expensive. Those are 3,500 gold bracelets.
Yeah, gold bracelets are a nice find. Good armor for everybody. But 35,000 is quite a price tag on them.
Now, if you're Phoenix, do you go anywhere other than Sarda's Cave and Earth?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't have the
I'm
money.
probably gonna go try and.
Magic.
I'm gonna try and take out a Lich. I think. Stopsy's level 5, but nothing else of note.
That was a bit of a womp. Those are cheap houses, sub 1,000, quite literally 999 gold. Fido Vive in chat. This is the original NES game from the 1980s. Shuffled and scrambled by FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Incredibly easy to use, incredibly fun to mess with. Phoenix actually checking Titans. You've got a Knight, you've got 2 casters, you might want some more gear. Haven't found a good weapon that. Oh, it pays big. An Opal bracelet.
Yep. Nice Opal going right on that Black Mage.
I believe it was the Red Mage for the protection of the
I thought it was
caster.
bottom spot, but yeah.
If it is the Black Mage, then well, either way, Sarda has a Red Mage and has the Herb, so that's another turn-in item they can check relatively quickly. One thing to note for anyone who hasn't followed us, normally in the randomizer, at least by default, we scale the amount of gold and experience the parties get based on the number of incentive items they have. With this flag set, we actually scale it 50% base increase per orb that's lit. So these runners will be getting substantially more gold and more experience for their party once they start taking out some fiends. That's extra critical when you have a master in these flags, because for anyone who hasn't seen the Final Fantasy, the master, or actually the black belt vanilla, is the punch cannon. Once it hits a certain critical mass of levels, it can kill just about anything in one hit, or, well, 8 to 10 hits in one attack. But they're far from that critical level yet, and that is an Agama on the 2nd tile in Earth Cave in the Hall of Giants. That is a huge find. We've got more technical difficulties, just an issue with Pale Stream, unfortunately. We will try and get that fixed up.
See what we can do on that end here while Phoenix is heading into Earth. Gonna go kill a Lich, probably.
Indeed. That Agma is definitely something Phoenix is going to remember. It may not be thin, but if you've got 21 or more levels on that Master, you'll have 6 hits and do usually enough damage to take down an Agma in 1 or 2 fights. It can be worth quite a bit of experience, and since those Hall of Giants tiles, you have to get past that first tile, which had the Jotunheim pack, the Frost Giant Frost Wolves, but you can go up and down, tile to tile, for those Agamas and not have any risk of an off-step encounter, which makes for a very fast in-place grind. Not the Blaze Blue Dragons. That's a no grind.
Ooh. That's... and Flash.
Well, Flash is just a troll, but Bite is also very potent. All for a silver helm, and thankfully has multiple life casts, but it's gonna have to go through all the cure charges, or... Yep, gonna just go ahead and use all the magic. Interesting choice, given the fact we do have life in battle enabled. That is all the life casts that Phoenix has available.
Yeah, it should be the only time he manages to go down, though, so... should be good.
The Lit 3 from the Vampire says that was a mighty risky play, but the nuke gets the job done. That ribbon keeping Sage down at the bottom of the party, the red mage, up quite handily. The ribbon providing elemental damage resistance.
Ooh,
and there is the adamant.
Turn that in.
So,
that might be something fun.
So says the hint. So shall be found. Now, will Phoenix check the Earth Armory or Lich's Closet? The 2 chest rooms on the next floor.
I imagine that we're gonna see a check. It's kind of early. You still kind of need money. Money can be kind of tight early on. And you do kind of want to get your spells and some of your equipment sorted out early on.
Very true.
But you aren't looking for a lot of equipment, and that's really the only thing you're looking at in boxes. And I'm wrong, we are just bypassing all of the chests.
Many of the chests, or many of the rooms, and many of the chests even in this game have been given names over time. One of the chests we have is Lich's the chests in the bottom left corner of that floor were Lich's Closet, and the upper right is Lich's... Ooh, Adamant turns into Canoe. Ale already getting that turn in. That is a huge find. Looks like Ale already killed Lich. Speaking of Lich, we have Nuke. Well, Nuke and Fade. Fade is extra effective against the undead, but I mean, Nuke is Nuke.
Yep.
And Lich is thin.
Yeah. A punch, a nuke, a fade, just kind of gone.
That is an orb lit for Phoenix. Ale already with the orb heading towards the upper river dock, which normally just gets you access to Ice Cave. But with this randomizer, we have added some mods to the map. Other than those docks I spoke of earlier, it is possible to actually go through a little gap in the mountains that's been added in that lower left there that lets you get access to the rest of the river system, including Volcano, without having to move your ship. Yeah, once you get used to playing with that map mod, you do not... You often find yourself bonking the river system thinking it's there when you're not playing with it. It looks like Ale is going for the ice play as Phoenix heads to pick up the canoe. Now we do have warp for both these runners, so we will probably see the warp play. I don't know if Ale checked for grind tiles in Earth and found that Agama, But what you usually see if you have warp in a non-randomized ice cave, you can drop down into one of the holes on the incentive item floor, use warp to get back to the top of that floor and check the chest without having to go through the entirety of Ice Cave. One of those many utility things that only exists in the randomizer because the logic is broken in the game. It prohibits it in the original game.
Ooh, vanilla.
Indeed,
I guess
we
we
do.
knew that from the head.
Yep, the hint has been taken. The defense sword coming from the herb, that is a ruse stick / weapon for that knight. That is a good find, but I like Ale's choice of going immediately to get the floater rather than taking Phoenix's route. That said, not too different.
Nah, we're gonna be on the same kind of pace. Ale's gonna be in the sky a little bit sooner, but it's not gonna matter too terribly much with speedboat and everything.
Indeedly do, and it doesn't look like the overworld encounter table has been too painful to our runners. We haven't been seeing tons of like insta-death, like parties wiping them every other step.
Yeah, there's something real quick off the hard reset, but after that, there's a pretty good run. It looks like just having watched them.
Hint
All men are
about the
confused.
herb, that
Which
was a
one's
wall.
has their thing?
The confused old men's, as you say, they just walk around. The question is, where's the one that you can talk to? And it's the last one for Phoenix, the bottle acquired.
Yep.
There are 3 old men in there that are different from the others. You've got the hint old man who tells you where something is potentially. You've got the item old man that gives you something. And then you've got the old men that you can send into retirement.
The old man who only has one thing to say, therefore is vulnerable to the NPC guillotine. Are my favorite flag.
Yes, one of the greatest modifications of this game. The greatest thing before Speedboat, I'd say, is the ability to click on an NPC that only has one line that it can say, and it will remove it. It was originally created specifically to swat bats out of the way. Where some dungeons, especially Earth, have so many bats that some of our runners would lose races because the RNG put a bat in an unpassable location. It's still an issue, given that note of the entities that have only one thing they say, because the Lufanians, for instance, all have 2 different things they can say, pre-translation and post. They can block your path very easily. We call them the Lufanian linebackers.
Yes. We'll have to see if we get there. We probably will. Just head to visit all the towns in this flag set. Meanwhile, Ale has made their way down to the bottom of Volcano, not checking anything except for some grind tiles. Didn't find much of anything. Found zombie bees.
Death.
Yeah, but that's okay. Red
The Wiz Mummy pack with birds can be pretty brutal. There is a wine bottle that is Ale's Ruby with the fun food item renaming. So a bit of a womp out of Volcano, but we are about to see a carry fight.
Yep.
You know, for a second I thought Phoenix was going to take on the Volcano fight and then go get the airship. It looks like Phoenix wants to get into the sky and then go back. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's the way I would do it too. Ale
not having that red mage up means there's no life in battle option. There's only one nuke / fastcaster.
Yep.
That was a very fast reset because that was a very brutal chopping of the black mage into bits by Carrie with her swords. Ale has wiped out of Volcano.
And is going right back in. Gonna try their luck again, I suppose.
Yep, and Phoenix with the bottle in the air is going to check what the fairy has. If it's vanilla oxy ale, that puts them a key away from go mode. That is vanilla oxy ale. I don't think we had a hint for that. That was just a random guess. So we just need that key. They can't get it from a thief pickup, so they have to find it somewhere. Phoenix is checking. It looks like he's not going to go to Guy. He just wants to take advantage of this fast early encounter off the hard reset. Buying sandwiches. If he can find a really fast off-tile overworld encounter for like the T-Rex or maybe a steak and wings, you could definitely get a really fast overworld grind that can beat out that Agama in Earth.
Alright, Ale rocks back up to carry, this time with the whole party intact. We get some nuking, some waiting, some nuking, some punching of the black belt this time, which is a much better target, all things considered. And this time took care of the black belt, or black mage, rather. Picking the black mage back up here. Ooh, and sleep touch, it looks like. Carrie's just hitting hard.
And Carrie's thick.
Yeah, that's not a good sign if Quad X doesn't do it after this many nukes. Yep, now it's gonna be up to this red mage.
Turn order, Quad X goes out.
Ooh. Barely made it there, but, you know, 1 hit point isn't 0, as they say.
So, what was that earlier I said about the red mage with Quad X, the last limping character? Ale pulling that one out for this fight, but that's 2 orbs lit. That's 100% base experience boost. So if Ale goes to those Agamas now, he can get twice the experience off those fights than he would by vanilla fighting. Could take the chance to grind sooner than later.
Yep.
Defense sword for Ale, as Phoenix making his way to get that Womp Ruby. So at this point, what we need to find, the incentive ribbon, the slab, the key, the crown. So there's still plenty of places to check. We've got Waterfall, we've got the Sky incentive, which they have access to already with the chime and the cube. Ordeals, plenty of places to go.
Yep.
BR Bro, yes, running without a thief can be a chore. But that's the reason you get the punch cannon online and put them at the front of your party, and then the enemies run from you.
Yeah. So Ale checking over here. Either didn't find or didn't like the idea of the Agama. Just a Tyro, looking for something probably a little juicier here.
Yeah. This is not a bad thing to check. It's a very fast off the hard resets, like 3 steps. I like this from Phoenix, going with the Invis 2 strats and the defense sword to try and keep the party up. That sleep touch. The good news is Cure 4, if he uses it, nope, gonna use the life charge on the black mage, thinks it's more valuable, and I agree. Cure 4 can undo status effects if it's used on a party member. It's a flag in the randomizer, so you could wake up a party member from sleep or paralysis with Cure 4.
We're fasting the fighter. We'll see if, I mean, that helps a little.
It has good armor on it, but...
Yeah, 6 hit 17 just is not doing it for us.
Meanwhile, Ale picking up the crown in Proc Gen Waterfall from the robot.
So we didn't pick up Quad Axe, so we're kind of done with our charges. And we get through Carrie. We smash our sword against Carrie enough, and Carrie goes down.
Well, Carrie was all about the swings, and when you have Invis 2, which adds a half stack of ruse, and you get the defense sword, which adds a full stack of ruse, 2 casts of Invis 2 and 2 uses of the defense sword maxes out base evade. So that kind of works. And Phoenix, taking armor off his party, reses the black belt, or master, is going for the grind. That's the only reason to make this play. He wants to be able to down those 2 party members and solo the black belt on whatever tile he takes. Ale, meanwhile, found that red D in Ice Cave. It is thin for a red dragon, and it's worth more experience than the Agama. So I don't dislike this play. By going back and forth on that tile, there's no chance of off-tile encounters. And he's got warp as long as he keeps that red mage or the black mage up, so he can get out without running into other encounters. So interesting. Just wanted to get to level 15 and then bail out. I don't dislike it. That's more survivability and access to charges on the knight, starting with this level.
Yep. And that'll turn into lives too here pretty shortly, so.
Ale checking the hint giver, says, oh, it's the canoe, a womp hint at this point, but going into sea, we will see the seaside, the mermaid side, where the incentive is. Maybe we'll see a carbonation of bubbles, maybe we won't.
Probably not. I would guess that we're just gonna go directly to where the thing is. Just grab it.
Yeah. Good
oh,
pace,
maybe we're
I
looking for some
get it.
stuff. We found a wooden shield. That's towards that red mage wood set armor thing.
Yeah, I would say the ice shield is amazing fine, but we already have the Aegis. So an ice shield +2 is kind of inferior.
Yeah. And that's the redundant chime, unfortunately. So not the key that we were looking for.
And the opal helm is kind of worthless because Ale really just wants to focus on the punch cannon. We have a hard reset out, and Ale's going to go back in and go Kraken side. Meanwhile, Phoenix, trying to down the party member, is showing some items rather than attacking. These sandworms must be pretty thin if Ale already wants to try and down the party.
They're pretty thin.
For anyone who hasn't played the Final Fantasy, if one of your party members is stoned or dead, they do not get a chunk of the experience for a fight. So by killing off 3 of your party members, all of the experience goes on those party members. And Phoenix is using the lava tiles in Volcano 1 to try and down the party. You can't kill a party member this way, but you can eat away their health until level 1 or to 1. Bold play. I approve. Also, Sahag pack with mute and sea snakes with mute. So sea is really all about silencing.
The silence of the ocean.
Silent seas. The silent service. Now I just imagined a submarine instead of the boat.
That would be
Final Fantasy VII.
Or Earthbound. A submarine Earthbound.
Very true. Ale, level 15 across the party on Kraken's floor, only a few steps away from that fight as Phoenix starts downing. There goes the ninja, or there goes the knight. The red mage is still standing. Defense sword makes sure that that black belt will not be targeted, and if it does, it will not get hit. But these sandworms don't seem to have good aim.
There we go.
Being of good aim, Ale finds the red mage gets hit by Kraken, because Kraken's known to go after lifecasters. Gets the defense sword usage on the black belt, fasting the knight. It does have the defense sword, it has a better weapon, but he doesn't have Will this work? We don't have Brack, we don't have Bane, so we can't meme strap. But 4 hits 3,400, and Kraken is just hitting. Unless Kraken casts something, there's a higher probability of Kraken dying than not at this point.
We have 700 damage already on Kraken. That's pretty good. 1,400.
Kraken rolled really thick, but
16.
Nuke finishes it off.
Yeah. Really thick Kraken, but not thick enough, and Ale has lit 3 orbs.
Yep. Another 50% possible experience. Ale not rezzing the party up. Gonna go back and get in the airship. As Phoenix is down the party, is going to defense sword up, use the time to make sure that the black belt won't take too many hits while it starts to punch down these sandworms. With 2 orbs, 2 sandworms should be worth like 9,000 plus hit or experience. I don't know the exact count.
6.5? I think.
11.
Oh, 11.
Okay. More than expected. But that's great for Phoenix because it took so long to set up, but it can help balance it out. Meanwhile, Ale getting the slab from Astos. Wait, I should say the jolly old Dark Elf King, because we haven't seen Astos until now. He was in the place of Dr. Un.
I was wondering if we were going to find Astos. Astos is buffed and has
rub. No more life cast. The knight is dead. Nuke going after Astos. Toxic. Well, Ale saved outside of it, lifes up, heals up, and goes back in. Astos has multiple instant death spells, and there's no pro rings on this party, and only 1 ribbon that I don't even know if Ale has equipped right now.
So 500 on Astos. Rub comes out into the second slot. 700. Call it 800. Ooh. And Bane just comes out and wipes the party.
So that is proof there is no pro rings. Pro rings provide instant death immunity, or at least 3 in 256 chance of getting killed by instant death spells. There is no such thing as immunity in this game, there's just substantially reduced probability, and Toxic gets the kill on the Black Mage already. First man down isn't the Knight this time. Now this Trials and Tribulation... I was gonna say, this Trials and Tribulation for Ale against Astos is letting Phoenix get that grind going sooner than later. Already past the level 21 turnover, so he's got 6 hits. Once he hits level 32, he will have 8 hits. 42, he will have 10 hits on that black belt. And at 47, it's natural MDef growth, which is the vanilla black belt's MDef growth, 4 MDef per level. We'll put it at ribbon equivalency.
We did get our slab translated. We forced Astos to do it. And Ale's gonna go for the Agamos.
Ale does have 3 orbs lit, so we'll get more experience per fight, and can use this Jotunheim pack potentially to down the party. If he really wants to be risky, he knows that there's blue dragons in the top and bottom rooms on this floor.
Yeah, but they were kind of nasty.
There's 1 party member down. Meanwhile, Phoenix just going straight punches, doesn't care about evasion now. Every level that black belt gets, it gains 4 MDef. It also gains natural absorb. Once it's fully leveled up, the black belt and or master has more absorb than pretty much a vanilla opal bracelet, as well as the MDef of a ribbon. It's quite potent. Oh, Agamos with Poison Touch. Didn't see that before. But that's actually kind of helpful for Ale, because it'll get rid of the Knight faster. but the Agmas are also substantially thicker than those sandworms seem to be for Phoenix. And Phoenix, with the active punch cannon, is already going ham on them.
The black belt can't cast spells. Oh no.
Silenced Master. I mean, the Master simply meditates and swools.
Yeah.
It speaks with the fist. You can't silence the fist. Ale picking up some heal pots in Gaia. Also going to check the bottle if he hasn't already done so. Nope, already has that taken care of. That's where he got the Ox Ale. As Phoenix continues worm baiting, and Ale going to see Auracleos and say no. Or try and use the no fun police to kill off the party. Not working. Ale resets out. Gonna try it again. Again, they go for the black belt. Ale, this is incredibly risky.
Yeah. Not sure this is the outcome you wanted.
I think Ale feels a little desperate, which is strange because he's got 3 orbs lit, has access to Sky, and only needs the key. He can only assume at this point that his opponent is already grinding hard, and oh, Ale had checked this, so knows where the sandworms are, is going to go straight for the same grind, but doesn't have the 6 hits needed to one-shot the sandworms.
Quite yet, but we're getting there.
Yep, he needs to get to level 21 to start one-shotting. Each level also increases the amount of damage done per hit. Strength is actually a non-functioning stat with the Black Belt / Master unless you equip a weapon. Its damage output is based off the number of hits it gets, with the levels dictating that, as well as the level itself.
Yep. And so when we grind, we like to make sure that everybody. I know that Davian kind of said something about it earlier, but go on over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com if you like what you see. It's kind of a great site. Has the wiki on it where you can find information about the upcoming Fall League tournament and other past tournaments and how to set up, how to get trackers, and all of that fun stuff is right there on the wiki. And come join the Discord where everybody kind of hangs out. There's races being practiced all the time, so very much great time to come and practice and have some fun.
Chat calling for worm packs. Fellowson spotting worms have 5 hearts. My only worm fact is they make effective bait. And to harvest worms to fish with, you use electric grid with spikes. You stick them into the ground, then you shock the ground, and the worms come up.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one way of forcing worms up to the surface. Shock the moist soil they're in. Phoenix, meanwhile, done eating worms, has hit that level 42 turnover, will get 10 hits per attack, unless the opponent's dodgy. Does not have full MDef max, but I mean, 42 is still substantially high enough to matter. There goes the armor re-equip, ribbon, opal on the black mage, or on the red mage, the shield and gear otherwise on the knight. Now if you're Phoenix, do you go C from here, or you just go to Sky first because your proximity? And you have a War Mech to fight up here.
Yep, we have Enforced War Mech, but it appears that we go to Sky because it's right here.
Yeah. I think it's the right move. It's closer from where you were. And that War Mech, it may have some bad things because its script pool is shared with the randomized script of the Refight Fiends and Chaos, but it also expenses like 30,000 experience vanilla, and with 2 orbs lit, you get 100% more across your 4 party members. It's worth a lot to the lower level party members in your group.
I decided to punch. That was a mistake.
Indeed. Eye slaps against fist, fist wins.
Yep.
If this is the key, that is go mode for Phoenix. We know the slab exists, but
it almost has to be the key, doesn't it?
It would have to have been the crown or the incentive ribbon.
Or I guess the crown could have turned into the key. But something has to be in Corneria Lock, so...
True. Which we'll probably actually might see that from Phoenix if it wants to check for that ribbon. But, I mean, he's got a ribbon and he's got a punch cannon, so he's probably thinking he's good to go. Red Mage unlocks some nuke, then we get the FFR traditional cast, kill almost everyone, then run.
Yep.
Phoenix doing the right thing, going left and up, or up and left. Other routes are acceptable, given the fact they work, but they are not acceptable in my opinion. Phoenix, going to Cure 4, gonna take the fight against the War Chicken.
Yep. Forced War Chicken fight here. 662 on a first test swing. Fire 3 is kind of not my favorite thing to see, but it's not too bad.
It's definitely not nuke or nuclear, which War Mech is want to nuke things to death, and there's the punch. Fast, making it done. They're getting it done.
We gain level 43 off of it.
Cure 4, and on to the Tia fight. This will put Phoenix in orb parity with Ale, but also post-grind and go mode.
Yeah, having that key is pretty tech, although Ale will come across it here shortly.
True, but Phoenix does not have to go down Mermaid's side because he knows he's in go mode. Also, doesn't even have to touch Waterfall, so Phoenix's route doing it good for him.
Doesn't have to touch Astos either.
True, he doesn't deal with the slat translation, round turn, and any of it.
Yeah. Assuming we're just
Speaking of the slab turn in, that is what Ale is about to do. Does have warps, so doesn't have to deal with the Lefanian linebackers, but I mean, that's a pretty nice thing to find, the Masa +2. You wish you had found that before you went for the grind, though, because the Masa +2 on that on the black belt for Master pre-punch cannon mode could have likely one-shotted those sandworms, which would have sped up the grind substantially. But it does, in this case, mean that Ale's Knight has a much more potent weapon to swing to do damage going down to final fights.
Yeah, it means the Knight's not going to be completely auxiliary, although with the Knight having life, I mean, kind of a nice thing anyway. And Phoenix is about ready to enter Toph. Kind of exciting here, while Ale still has this dungeon to go. We'll find the key here. Presumably. I mean, you have to kind of assume that they're going to check.
Yeah, there's no reason not to check at this point, and at the rate at which both of these runners are going, Phoenix, I mean, unless there's a counter table that doesn't let up, Phoenix will get to Kraken around or ahead of Ale, but both runners will probably be in Topher sub 50, unless there's some substantial weirdness that's about to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, Phoenix could try and track down the last of the stuff, wanting something. I don't know what you would want, but
yeah, I mean, other than a ribbon at this point, there's not much. The white shirt, but I mean, you've got Invis cast, so you've got a defense sword already. Punch for almost, or a little over 1,000. Fast comes out, punch again. Phoenix pulverizes the Kraken. gets level 18 and 19 on the Knight and the Black Belt or Black Mage, lifes up the Red Mage, and gets the heck out of there. Meanwhile, Ale doing a left and up. Yes, he is. On to the Bridge of Destiny, on to fight the Warmech as Phoenix heads up and away to Toph. You know, for a second I thought he was going to get Agama grind, and I was like, why would you grind at this point? Nope, he's going to Black Magic to pick up some spells. Lock 2, that is huge. Lock is a spell which reduces the evasion of an opponent, which, when you're relying on punching as many times and as hard as possible, and your opponent might be evasive, it makes a difference.
It can definitely help out. It's on a different spell level too, so it's something helpful that they can do. Maybe even in the early fights. See it on Lich.
4710.
If we feel like it's needed on Lich.
4710 gets Phoenix into Toph as Ale punches a Warmech down, lost the Black Mage, but that was 26,000 experience for 3 of his party members. He's fine with that. Goes straight in, doesn't even heal, no respect. You've got a fast cast, you've got a punch cannon. There goes Tia, dead in one hit. Ale in go mode as Phoenix is through the loot plate and into the past.
About to get to Lich's floor there. Frosty encounter.
BR Bro pointing out that Phoenix doesn't have map derp enabled. This is for Ale. Meanwhile, does have map derp. One of the most recent fun flags introduced into the randomizer flies googly eyes to Toph.
Because why not?
I personally advocate for a newer, crazier flag called Derp Unleashed, at which all castles have googly eyes, different varieties.
I think it should just be that 1 in 1,000 castle renders has googly eyes. So it's decided per seed still, but it's like a very low chance, so if you get it, it's cool.
So tri-state googly eyes?
Yeah, but like it only occurs really, really rarely. Oh, and we're gonna use a fast cast on Lich.
I mean, Lich was thick enough to survive a punch, but 16 hits for 1700 is more than enough to finish off. These fiends are only rolled 100 to 200%, so they could be thick, or they could be vanilla. They can't be any weaker than vanilla, however. And it's not just their hit points that scale up, it's all of their stats that scale that way. So you could see a very thick, very powerful fiend. Terry was not thick. Actually probably rolled right around vanilla there.
Yep.
Phoenix through carry on the seafloor as Ale is on the earth floor, just a few floors behind and only a few encounters stalling Phoenix's progression. Seafood Party Pack taking extra time, having to go through the cast, does not have that ninja or thief to run away, and the mute cast not helping with the use of sweepers. Mute will also affect caster items, so if they get muted, they can't use that defense sword for evasion stacks.
And
the Lich has been put away.
Lich. And kind of making up speed here pretty quickly.
So that was 4 hits. Kraken is evasive, and hits are 12 hits for 900. I am Black Belt down. Life cast on the Knight, does not have life cast for the Red Mage, it is dead. Goes for nuke, Kraken hits for 12 hits for 1200. Life comes up on the Black Belt, life goes out on the Red Mage. What will Kraken do? Takes out the Knight, but the punch comes out, 10 hits, 1600. The fast cast stayed after it was hit. Even if it dies, you can res it and it's still fasted. Phoenix threw Kraken, but it was not an easy fight. And does not have that many charges. Only one more charge of Cure 4. Oh wow, he is down to one charge of Cure 4 life on either of his casters.
Hopefully Tia 2 doesn't give us too many feds.
Meanwhile, Ale taking that fight, 4 hits 400, gets the fast off, defense sword comes out. Defense sword does not stack enough evasion, but temper fast punch. Gonna go with the life cast, gonna go with the weight. Ale survives the punch. Gets past
really
Kraken
good.
Much easier, much less hassle than Phoenix. That makes up quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
And saves a whole lot of charges.
Pack, like, not really very happy here. Heading into Tia. Dueling Tia fights. Phoenix gets through Tia first. And heads on to Chaos. Meanwhile, Ale is through as well, heading up to Chaos.
We will have dueling Chaoses. Phoenix getting the fight in fast and Temper. Temper comes out, fast comes out. Fire 2, Chaos is throwing limp spells. Punch, nope, defense. Stacking up defense. 4 going for the punch. Meanwhile, Ale, the Knight takes the hit, has the defense sword, is going to focus on punch, not stack evades on the black belt. Temper comes out. Punch comes out. GG's for Ale at 53:02 with the race time jet GG time. Meanwhile, Phoenix, Zap comes out, but Punch comes out, and GG's for Phoenix at 53:12. Oh my word, this was a close race.
And we are already joined in the booth by Phoenix, GG's Phoenix, and it looks like Ale's going to be soon thereafter. GG's Ale.
Hey, GG's guys.
That was tight.
Yeah.
Keep it cracking too.
My bribe paid off. I sent the lobsters with a with a bribe to give to their tentacled overlords to slow you down, and it worked just enough.
Yeah, hubris. Needed a little bit more hubris.
This was just an incredibly fast race, all things considered. GG's to both of you.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, at
We
least
get to see.
So, I guess, Ale, tell me about Astos.
Oh, he's such a lovable friend, especially when you give him scripts and spells and lots of HP. And I at least remember to save before hitting up the starter check, because I was like, we haven't seen him yet. He's really only in 2 more spots.
Right.
He's probably here. And yeah, then Rub, Toxic, Bane, whatever he had. And I'm like, yeah, this is eating a little bit of time.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit rough there with Rub turn 2, and then Toxic, and then Bane, I believe, possibly Brack. It's very, very rough.
Yeah, I was hoping to get him down early without, on the first shot, obviously not knowing Astos was there, but planning for it. But I was hoping to get him down with just the 2 up, so that way I didn't have to try and ban people off for the grind. And obviously that didn't quite work out how I had hoped, so.
Yeah, not exactly how probably we would have hoped.
Was definitely interesting seeing you guys divert. We didn't get to see Ale, your perspective due to some stream issues, but it looks like you went and dealt with Garland, while Phoenix went to Provoca early to try and get some spells. How did that fight go?
Oh, that's unfortunate. The stream was having problems. I went over to Toph. I decided, well, there's no weapons and there's no good spells. Let me just check a couple boxes real quick. I think there was like a pro cape, some other weapon in gold. I was like, all right, well, we have level 10. We're just going to punch. So 2 rounds of everybody punching managed to get Garland down.
Well, that definitely did the job for you. Anything stick out to either of you with this seed? Something to note? And how nice was it to have a balanced party, seemingly?
Yeah, I was totally expecting like 3 white mages and a black mage.
Yeah, that would have been exciting.
It certainly would have been something.
It would have been fun for the viewers.
Possibly.
I think the biggest thing that stuck out for me is just Carrie continues to be a stick in the mud. He doesn't want to let you cooperate and get a cheeky kill on her early.
Yeah, no, Carrie was not very nice to black mages.
Yeah, I've learned through enough of these matches to respect her, and I made sure I had enough evade going in.
Yeah, that defense sword plus the invis casting made your fight against Carrie much more palatable. Thankfully, the wipeout of Volcano was not the longest of runs to get back down in. Was there any encounter you guys found to be dreadful? It didn't look like there was much in the overworld to worry about except for the RA Cleos we saw something take several times on purpose. That was kind of a choice.
Yeah, it took it several times just because at that point I needed to get everyone else killed off except for the black belt. I think my biggest surprise enemy was the Agamas being as thick as they were. I think they were pushing like 600-ish HP.
Yeah, I tried to take one early just with nukes when I was in the Earthgate. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look for a better grind.
I think the best grind in a tile form that was found was the red dragons, maybe, in ice, which saw was taken to like level 15 on the party.
Oh yeah, that was in Waterfall. I did that purposely for
yeah, Waterfall.
I figured I'm there, I might as well just dump nukes and try to get at least a fighter up to 15 just for that first spell charge.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Before going into sea and have to try and take on Kraken.
So, Ale, so you get to have your rematch against Fryteeth here next. Maybe 2 rematches against Fryteeth. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm saying there's a certain justice/irony in it being Fryteeth versus myself, since that would have been the round of 1 Tournament of Champions matchup that we would have raced out. That was a best of 3, so I'm hoping to take them in our official rematch, and then see what happens in the rematch.
Yep, absolutely. I think I'm looking forward to it too. Unless Thavian has any other questions here for our runners, I think I'll turn it over to Phoenix first for final thoughts.
First off, just GG's Ale. If I'm going to lose somebody, I'm okay losing to you, my Fall League teammate. But thanks for the organizers for the tournament. It's been a fun one. I had a good run there in the lower bracket, but ultimately came up 10 seconds short. Thanks for the crew for coming out, giving up your Saturday evening for this. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and Speed Gaming for giving us the channel. And otherwise, it's been a fun go, and I look forward to watching Fall League now.
Ale, thoughts?
Yeah, thanks again for you guys doing comms tracking. So yourself, Fabian, Soft Gnome, Wild Ham, appreciate you guys. Speed Gaming as well for giving us Prime for this evening for our lower bracket finals. A lot of fun to get it out to everybody. Thanks again for, everyone who's really participated. I think the turnout's been a lot. I think it had a lot of discussion happening behind it. I think seeming like people enjoy themselves. And past that, yeah, it's a pleasure to always race you, Phoenix. I always hate kicking out a good friend from a tournament, but at least we get to do crazy things together in Fall League.
Yeah, Sounds like a great race. So I do want to say thank you to Wildham for tracking for us. Thank you to my partner, Thavian Hawk, for babbling with me over this amazing race that was decided within 10 seconds. So great job, everybody. It was a lot of fun. And I am going to turn it over to Thavian Hawk to take us out.
Thank you much. As I said, thank you much for being on comms with me, Softnum, Wildham, our tracker, Speed Gaming for hosting and handling tracking duties and dealing with the troubles that were Ale and Phoenix. Thank you much for the race. Good luck on your rematch/final fight, AO. We will be watching. For anyone interested in the Final Fantasy Randomizer, as you just seen, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com gets you access to the randomizer itself. Also gets you links to our wiki with guides on how to play. Access to the Discord where you can get on and talk with people, organize your own fun little races, and join the Duckling program, a program for new racers to come in, get trained by veteran racers in the community, and compete in our own Duckling events, one of which is coming up here after the Fall League, as I said before. Finishes up. The Fall League is a team event where racers fight against each other, supporting their teams. With that, I have been Thavian Hawk. For Softnum, for Wildham, for our runners Ale and Phoenix, you all have a great evening.